Hey guys, Dcat here with another YouTube video, and today I am going to be building a little bit in Minecraft. I just want to quickly describe my thought process while building, so let's get started. As you guys can see, I've quickly built up the foundations, or the blueprints or plans that I'm going to be building. First off, I laid out the floor plan, and I decided to build up the walls to get the height of the build and everything like that. This way, I normally do all this with one type of block, so I know if it looks cool with one type of block, and that's when it's gonna look the worst. It's gonna look a lot better when I go back in and add more blocks, different colors, an actual color palette to the build. So now I'm adding a bit of wooden planks on the inside of my house that I'm building. I'm doing this so I could add some texture, as you guys can tell with the between the oak planks, the spruce planks, and the logs. I have at least 3 layers of textures I'm building in right now. I really like layering things in. It looks so much better in my opinion. And here I'm just testing what I want to do with the front of the house. I finally decided I wanted to add a few windows, but I was still not entirely sure what I wanted to do with my palette yet, so I'm just testing things, different colors out right now. And I actually decided that I really preferred the spruce wood and the oak wood that I originally started with. And then I added a bit of glass to the windows, added a bit of dark oak to the backing, so the build has a little bit of a darker color when you're looking through it. Now over here I'm working on the roof. I decided that I want the main roof of this build to be a stone brick roof with a little bit of cobblestone stairs highlight. And you will be seeing me adding that in soon, but first I'm going to be I built it with one block in mind so I could see what it would look like with other blocks. Right over there I just messed up. The roof wasn't level, so I had to redo it. But yeah, now that I have the roof down, I decided to try out different looks. What blocks do I like? And I ended up deciding stone stairs with a mix of cobblestone in as well. Also working on the bottom side to make it look like a more stair roof, smoother transition roof instead of a drop down over. A little bit of texturing design on the roof here. I didn't really like, I liked the idea I was going for, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I just kept modifying it until I finally came up with this outcome that you see right now, and I actually really like that. Okay, here I am trying out the different color palettes for the roof. I decided to just leave it the same because the stairs would glitch up, and I just manually placed a few cobblestone stairs in to give it a little older feel, a little older texture. Now I'm working on the front and back of the main tower. I decided to go with a little different design here. I'm just testing a few things on the front. When we get up to the roof here, you can tell that I decided to go with a oak roof, an oak stair roof. I know it's a little different from the stone roof down below, but I actually kind of like the idea of having different colored roofs on your buildings. Like the main roofs of this build is going to be the stone roofs, but just this one roof is weird. It's abnormal. It looks cool. I don't know. I just decided to go with the oak stair roof here. I actually didn't do anything special with it. It's just oak stairs all the way across, and the slabs down the middle. Over here I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the top of the tower. came up with one idea, thought that was pretty decent, but I didn't really care for it, so I added a few more lights, added a few trapdoors and buttons, and then I started to work with the color. And I've got, just saying, this, when I started working with the color, when I was working with the palette, this entire build just came together. Because it was one plain color, it looked pretty decent, but it did look good when it was plain. So, like I said earlier, if I just work with the palette later, I know it's gonna look good if it looks good when it's got a boring palette. Also, I did place a few oak stairs to add a little bit of texture in the top of the tower. Over here, I'm working on the one of the main roofs. On the opposite side, I'm doing pretty more or less the same thing, just with the higher level on that side. Once again, I'm going back through and placing some cobblestone brick stairs. Or not cobblestone brick, just cobblestone stairs. I just like the look. Over here I'm doing a little bit of texture work and changing up the color palette on the sides. As you can see, I took out the oak wood and added a bit of stone brick. I also went in and added some cracked stone brick and mossy stone brick as well to make continue with the old feel. Okay, here I am with the other side of the roof. Obviously, this one's gonna go higher than the other side since it's a higher part of the building. I managed to keep this looking pretty decent, pretty good, by just having a meet part way up and just flattening that side out a little. I chose this way because you don't normally see builds like this, and I just thought it would be pretty cool to have this weird, unnatural-like build, even though and still have it come out, turning out really, really nice looking. I'm just trying to solve a problem up there with slabs and stairs not working so well. And as you guys can see on the right side, I do have some wood sticking out above the stone roof. Okay, over there now I'm working with the mixing up the stone and cracked stone and mossy stone on the inner level. Now let's take a look at the back of the build. It's sorry, I completely forgot about this. I added a chimney and a little bit of smoke as cobwebs. Now let's take a look at the back. It's fairly plain. I'm currently copying the front of the build right now to paste it on the back. I kind of like the front. I like having it look I know this build is a little of a last natural build, but I do like it to look normal, or like it's meant to be a kind of normal build. It's just a little off because it's like old and not planned out too well when it was originally built. That's the type of feel I was going for. Now I'm adding a little shrine to the back of the build. I honestly don't know what I actually built. This entire house type thing. I was originally going with a church idea, and then I turned it into a little bit of housing. There's that shrine right there is just because of the church part, I guess. Although it's technically not a church because churches are Christian and Catholic, and I don't have any crosses there, so I guess you could call it whatever you want. A spiritual housing district, maybe? I have no clue. Once again, I'm working on the back. I'm doing the back walls, what I did with the front walls as well. The different types of stone. Once again, back here, I am just working on the roof, making it look like the front, except not, if that makes any sense. And back to pretty much what I'm trying to do in the back is I'm trying to do what I did in the back, what I did in the front, except with differences. You can I mean, if you just glance at it, you're not gonna notice very many differences, but if you really look into it, you can see like different order of blocks. It looks natural. It's like an old place that's been kind of refurbished. I'm not sure what you would say. That's a design I was trying to work out on the back. Ended up going with the glass windows on top. Okay, moving on to the side. This side was actually pretty easy to do. I know I'm in the back for the opposite side of this build for a little bit there, but I'm just doing the exact same thing that I'm doing on this side. I added I made the pillar, I made the pillar be a full log. I made the support beams, and even the windows that are the exact same. On the top, I'm also showing you guys 2 different types of windows I just made up on the spot. You can do these if you want. It's fairly simple. I'm sure you've seen some of them before, or different versions of them. I am positive you've seen the bottom versions if you followed Escape to Gravity Falls, and it's actually used in most builds, in most like little hotel or just window flower baskets in cities, just outside the windows. I'm sure you've seen a variation of that before. But this is just what I thought would look good on this building, and it actually turned out pretty well. I know you guys didn't see me place the last window, but I did add it there. Okay, over here we are working on the side of the build now, I believe. Yes, I needed to figure out what I wanted to do with the side of the build, the design. I didn't really want a window. I mean, I did add windows, but I didn't want too many windows, if that makes sense. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like working with too many windows. On the front part, I added the windows. On the front side, I guess. But on the main side of the build, it's all design. It's like it's a stone structure, the cracked and mossy and normal stone bricks, also with some wood creeping into it. So it's like holding. I mean, the overall build, I was just trying to keep the style of the original build. Originally, it was all oak. Now it's like a part stone, part wood build, and that's what I did right there. And then I did the exact same on this other side, although I completely did not notice my copy and paste go through the roof, but I fixed that later. So over here I started to work on the garden a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this world yet. Maybe I'll just make an old rustic town or something, I don't know. With this, I just made a path, with a nice path with flowers and a small garden around it, leading to the front door. I might touch up this build later when I decide what I'm going to be doing with this world, but this is just what I did for now. Added a nice flower garden, a nice flower patch. This is me working on a custom tree. Unfortunately, I didn't have Voxel Sniper at the time of making this build, because it is a plugin, and I was using mods while building this. I was using the replay mod to record this, and that's what you're watching right now. So unfortunately, I had to do this completely by hand, but I think it turned out pretty well. Pretty much with custom trees. I guess I could do a tutorial on this later. If you guys haven't already, you should definitely check out Dreon's tutorial. It's very good. That's how I learned how to build trees, and it's really good with Voxel Sniper. Although you can do it manually just by following the traits of a custom trees. You actually build up the branches and focus your leaves on those branches. I mean, on the tips of those branches, and then on the sides of the branches a little more, but mainly on the tips. And it's like the leaves grow out from there Because if you go outside, look at a tree, the leaves are all over the branches, especially at the tips, not the trunk. So that's why I'm flying around just spamming leaves everywhere. I'm sure the tree could have looked better if I had voxel sniper, but it didn't turn out too bad. I actually kind of like that tree. Now here, let's take a quick shot of the build. I'm not quite done with this yet. At this moment, I was still working on some flat terrain around the build, adding some flowers, adding some extra an extra layer. Well, guys, if I can say this, that build was really fun to do. It took me about 2 hours to build. If you have any questions on that build that I didn't go into, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to see a specific build I can do next, please let me know that in the description as well. And if I don't do it right away, I will be doing it relatively soon. And guys, that is going to be it for now. So, this is Dcat, signing off. Night!